Hello everybody, and thank you so much for watching. Today we will make this very versatile, very beautiful and easy and fast to make sweater vest. For this project you can use one of your own favorite sweaters and use it as a template. Together we will crochet the seams, the collar, and you can add length and make a turtleneck out of it. We will make the vest longer, and I will show you how to make decreases to the sleeves in case you want to make long sleeves. We will make 4 squares for the front and 4 squares for the back of the sweater vest. Grab one of your sweaters that you like, and as you can see we have 4 squares in the front and then also 4 squares in the back. We will make each square half the size of our sweater that we picked out of our closet. You can add rounds, just simple double crochet to make it any size that you like. I made 12 rounds for a large size, you can make 11 rounds for medium size, and you can add as many rounds of double crochet as you like, but make the square half the size of your sweater. My sweater vest is about 22 inches wide and 25.5 inches long, but you can add many more rounds if you like. And with 12 rounds, the sides of my squares measure 11 inches. For the sweater vest, I use Mandala Sparkle yarn from Lion brand and a 4mm hook. My vest weighs about 377 grams, so that's 4 skeins, but I had old scraps that I used up, so I used about 2 skeins and my scraps. Let's start with the first square. Make a loop with your loose end behind the working yarn, so your working yarn is in front. Then go into the loop. Pull the yarn through and chain 3 for the first double crochet and start round 1. 1, 2, 3. Then go into the loop right here next to the figure 8 and make 15 more double crochet. Into that loop, into the ring. 15 more, so altogether with a chain of 3 we will have 16 double crochet. I always like to pull my ring a little bit tighter after I've made a few doubles. I find it easier to work into the ring. So altogether with a chain of 3, make 16 double crochet into the ring. 15 and 16 double crochet. Finish the round and slip stitch into the 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. It's the chain next to the first double crochet. Make the slip stitch and start round 2. And you can pull your ring tight and sew in the loose end if you like at this point. I just sew it in when my square is finished. Chain 3 to replace a treble crochet. Then make another treble crochet into the same space and to the 3rd chain. Yarn over twice, go into the same space, the 3rd chain, and make a treble crochet. Now we have 2 treble crochet together. Chain 2. And repeat, go into the double crochet. It's that open loop. Don't accidentally skip it. Yarn over twice, go into that first double crochet we made and make an unfinished treble crochet. Leave 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over twice, go into that same stitch again, that first double crochet, pull through 2, through 2 and then through 3 loops, and we have 2 trebles together again. Let's repeat, chain 2 and treble crochet 2 together into the next double. Yarn over twice, make an unfinished treble, leave 2 loops on the hook, yarn over twice, go into the same stitch again, leave 3 loops on the hook, pull through all 3 and chain 2. Treble crochet 2 together into the next double crochet, 1 and 2, pull through 3 loops and chain 2 and repeat that 16 times. Let's finish the round. I have to chain 2 more and make my last cluster of 2 trebles together into my last double crochet, 1 and 2. Finish round 2 with a chain of 2. Let's double check. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 trebles crocheted together with a chain 2 in between. Now we can slip stitch into the treble crochet and into the chain space and start round 3. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the first treble crochet, then make 2 more trebles into the first space, 1 and 2. So we have 3 treble crochet, chain 1 and go to the next space and make 3 trebles into it, 1, 2 and 3. Chain 1 and repeat this pattern 16 times. I want to change my color in row 4. If you don't want to change your color, make the chain and then a slip stitch into the 4th chain, into the 2 trebles, 1 and 2, and into the chain space and chain 4. I make my slip stitch into the 4th chain and cut my yarn. Now I can start round 4 with a different color. And you can start really anywhere. We're making the same stitches into all of the spaces, so go into any of the spaces and pull the yarn through and chain 4. If you have the same color, also chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that replaces our first treble crochet. Then chain 2 more for the chain space 1 and 2. And make a treble into the same chain space. So we have a treble crochet, 2 chains and a treble crochet, a little V-stitch. Chain 2 and repeat. Go to the next chain space, make a treble crochet, a chain of 2 and a treble crochet into the same chain space. Chain 2, move to the next chain space and repeat the V-stitch with a treble crochet, 2 chains and a treble crochet, and we will have 16 V-stitches, and don't forget to chain 2 after each V-stitch. Finish round 4 with a chain of 2. Now if we look, we have 16 V-stitches, those triangles, and 16 squares in between. Finish round 4 with a slip stitch into the 4th chain. And I doubled up my yarn here. And then slip stitch into the V-stitch and start round 5. Chain 4 for the first treble crochet and make another treble crochet into the triangle or into the V-stitch. Chain 1 and now we go into the square space in between the V-stitches and make 3 treble crochet into that space. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1 and repeat. Make 2 trebles into the V-stitch. 1 and 2, chain 1, go into that little square and make 3 trebles into it. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1 and repeat everything 16 times. 2 trebles into the V-stitches with a chain in between and 3 trebles into the square spaces with a chain in between. Here's how we're looking after round 5. Let's finish round 5 with a chain. Slip stitch into the 4th chain, into the treble crochet, and into the chain space. And we can start round 6. Chain 3 for double crochet, then chain 3 more for the chain space. Go to the next space and make a double crochet. Chain 3, go to the next space and make a double. Chain 3 and double crochet into the next chain space. Altogether we will have 32 doubles with a chain of 3 in between. Finish round 6 with a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the 3rd chain. And into the chain space and start round 7. Round 7 is really easy. Chain 4 for the first treble crochet and make 3 more trebles into the chain space. So together with a chain of 4, we have 4 treble crochet into the chain space. And that's all we're doing in this round. We make 4 treble crochet into all of the chain spaces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make 4 trebles into all of the chain spaces. At the end of round 7 we have 32 clusters with 4 trebles. Let's finish round 7 with a slip stitch into the 4th chain and start round 8 with a chain. Then go in between the clusters of the 4 trebles and make a single crochet. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's repeat. Skip 4 trebles, go in between the clusters of 4 treble and make a single crochet with a chain of 4. Skip 4 trebles, make a single crochet and chain 4. This way we will have 32 chain spaces. I will cut my yarn at the end of the round and change to a different color, so I make a slip stitch into the single crochet and cut my yarn. I do that because now we're changing into a square and it always looks very nice when the circle looks a different color than the square. Now we will repeat this pattern 4 times to fill our 32 spaces. So we got 8 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4 all the way around for 32 spaces. Let's start with space 1, that's our corner, and make 2 trebles, 3 chains and 2 trebles. You really can start with any of the spaces. So I pull my new yarn through and I make 4 chains to replace the first treble crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we make 1 more treble crochet into space 1. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more trebles into space 1. 1 treble and the second one. Now let's move to space 2. Let's take a look. We have to make 4 double crochet into space 2. 1 double, 2, 3, and 4. And the same with space 3. Make 4 double crochet into the 3rd space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Space 4 gets 4 half double crochet. 1 half double, 2, 3, and 4. And space 5 gets 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we get large again. Space 6 gets 4 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And space 7 and 8 the same as space 2 and 3. We make 4 doubles in each of the spaces. And that's the first side of our square. So make 4 double crochet into space number 7. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 4 doubles into the last space, space number 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we can start the pattern again and repeat those 8 spaces. Now we can make the second side the same way. Our corner goes into space number 1 with 2 trebles, 3 chains and 2 trebles. So move to the next space and make 2 trebles, 1 and 2, 3 chains and 2 trebles, 1 and 2, and that's our second corner. Space 2 gets 4 doubles, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we can also make 4 doubles into space number 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Space number 4 gets 4 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then our smallest stitch goes into space number 5. No yarn over. 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we get bigger again. Space 6 gets 4 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And space 7 and 8 get each 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the last space, space number 8, gets also 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's the second side. Now we can repeat this pattern 2 more times. We can repeat our pattern on side 3 and fill the 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there are 8 spaces left to make side 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can finish round 9 with a slip stitch into the 4th chain, into the treble crochet, and into the chain space, and we can start round 10. Now round 10 is almost the same as round 9. We add 2 more treble crochet, and that's the difference. Let's start round 10 with a chain of 4 to replace the first treble crochet, then make another treble crochet into the chain space, chain 3 and make 2 more trebles into the chain space, and that's our corner again. 2 trebles, 3 chains, and 2 trebles. And now here's the only difference. Make 2 trebles into the previous 2 trebles. 1, and 2 trebles, and now we make the same stitches as before. We have 8 double crochet, and we make 8 doubles into the previous 8 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next are our 4 half doubles. Be careful, the first one goes right here. 4 half doubles into the previous 4 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 singles into the previous 4 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then again 4 half doubles. Be careful to get the first one into the right spot. 1, 2, 3, 4 half doubles, and then 4 doubles again 2 times, so 8 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then here are our 2 trebles again from the previous round, and we make 2 trebles into those. 1 and 2. And our next corner, go into the corner space and make 2 trebles, 3 chains, and 2 trebles into it. 2 trebles, 3 chains, and 2 trebles. And then again repeat the stitches of the previous round where we made trebles, we make trebles. Where we have doubles, we make doubles, and so on. So we make 2 trebles into the previous 2 trebles, and then our 8 doubles. So where we had trebles, make trebles. Where we had doubles, make doubles, and so on, and repeat this pattern on the other sides. Let's finish the 4th side together. I made my 8 doubles into the previous 8 doubles. Now yarn over twice and go into the 4th chain underneath the slip stitch, so you can ignore the slip stitch and make the treble into the 4th chain. And then you can again ignore the slip stitch and make a treble crochet into the previous treble underneath the slip stitch. So now we have our 2 trebles into the previous 2 trebles, and we can finish the round with a slip stitch into the 4th chain, into the treble, and into the chain space, and start round 11. Now let's start round 11. Chain 3 to replace the first double crochet and make another double crochet into the chain space. Chain 3 and make 2 more doubles into the chain space, so our corner is 2 doubles, 3 chains, and 2 doubles. Now this round is very easy. Make doubles into all of the previous stitches all the way across. Double crochet into all of the stitches. The 36 double crochet are in between the two corners, so the two corner doubles do not count towards the 36 double crochet. So we have 36 double crochet in between the corner spaces, and then you can make the corner again with 2 doubles, 3 chains and 2 doubles. Once we crochet the corner into our corner space, we can double crochet the 36 doubles into the previous stitches again. If you want to double check yourself one more time at the end of the round, in between the two corner spaces there should be 40 double crochet. We can finish round 11 again with a double crochet into the 4th chain underneath the slip stitch, and a double crochet into the previous treble crochet underneath the slip stitch. Then slip stitch into the 3rd chain, into the double crochet and into the chain space, and we can start round 12. Chain 3 for the first double, double crochet into the corner space, chain 3 and double crochet 2 into the corner space. So repeating basically round 11. 2 doubles, 3 chains and 2 doubles for the corner. Now make 40 double crochet into all of the previous doubles. So in between the two corners we have 40 double crochet, and including the 2 doubles in each corner we have 44 double crochet from corner to corner. Crochet around all 4 sides, and then we can finish the round with a double crochet into the 3rd chain underneath the slip stitch again. A double crochet into the previous double underneath the slip stitch. Add more rounds if needed to make the square half the size of the sweater. I will stop right here and I will show you how to finish your last round. Once you like the size of your square, you can pull the yarn out of that last double crochet and thread a needle. Then go skip over that chain of 3 and go into the first double through the front loop and back loop. Turn your work a little bit, then go top down into the back loop and that little back bump of the last double crochet. And then I go top down into the chain of 3 and sew in my loose end. That way we have an invisible join, and it will be easier to join the squares later on. As I mentioned before, you can add more rounds. You don't have to stop here, but if you want to double check in this round, from corner to corner, we have 44 double crochet. Our first square is done. Now you can make 7 more just like it. Once you made the 8 squares, pick your favorite 4 to be the front of your sweater and the back of your sweater. Now we can turn all of our squares wrong side up and make the seam across the waistline. We will start with the first 2 squares in the corner right here, and we'll crochet right across and make the seam. So grab your first 2 squares and we can start and crochet all of the squares one by one together. Here my first 2 squares, I placed them wrong side up and I put a loop on my hook. And then place your 2 squares together so the right sides face each other inside, the wrong sides are outside. Go into the 2 corner spaces and make a single crochet. And now we will crochet front loops and back loops together. Go into the front loop of the double. Here's the front loop, behind it is the back loop. Go into the front loop, and on the other square go into the back loop. Here's the front loop, behind it is the back loop. Go into the back loop and make a slip stitch. Slip stitch the front loops together with the back loops. Front loop, back loop, slip stitch. Next double crochet, front loop, back loop, and slip stitch. And I will do a few so we can see what it looks like. So you can repeat it all the way to the next corner. Front loop, back loop, slip stitch. Here's how the wrong side looks. And when you turn it over, the right side, you have 2 nice little lines. When we get to the corner, we can slip stitch our last 2 doubles together. Front loop, back loop, slip stitch. Then go into the corner spaces and make 2 single crochet around them. 1 and 2, and then you grab your next pair of squares, square 3 and 4. The 2 squares are wrong side up again. Put the corners together so the right sides face each other inside. Then single crochet 2 around the corner spaces, 1 space and the second one, and make 2 singles around them, 1 single and the second one. Here's how it looks. And now we can continue our regular pattern. Slip stitch all of the front loops and back loops together. Front loop, back loop, and slip stitch. Here's how the wrong side looks. And this is the right side. Now you can continue the seam for the remaining squares, squares 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So our 8 squares are all stitched together. And now we have to stitch the first and the second square together with the 7th and the 8th square. So we're basically making a huge tube out of this rectangle. So here are our last 2 stitches, the last 2 single crochet. Let's take a look again. Here's our seam that we just made. You can fold it like that. And now we're going to bring it all together and connect square 1 and 2 with square 7 and 8. So fold it around. So you're basically folding a tube. Bring the first 2 squares around. Where we first started, right here. And now we can stitch those 2 pieces together, the last 2 and the first 2. Remember, we only made 1 single crochet in the beginning, but we need 2 singles, so we have to make 1 more single crochet into the corner space. Single crochet the 2 corner spaces together. And now all of our pieces are crocheted together, and we have 1 continuous seam going all the way around. And I make 1 more slip stitch into the single crochet. And 1 more chain, just to have a really secure stitch right here, and then you can cut your yarn and sew in the loose ends. So now we have 1 continuous seam all the way around. At this point it's easy to get those pieces twisted up, so please be careful when you pick them up. Now let's crochet the seams in the front and the back. We do them the same way. We start in the corner, in the front, and crochet all the way up. Everything's still wrong side out. Let's start in the corner, and I turned my piece so it's easier to crochet, so I'm on the bottom corner, and I put the right sides together. Make 2 single crochet around the corner, just the same way as we did before, and then crochet the front loops together with the back loops of the double crochet. Front loop, back loop, and slip stitch. I'm finishing the slip stitches into my last 2 doubles. Now when you look at the seam, we have our 2 spaces to the right. Make 2 single crochet around the 2 spaces, 1 and 2, then skip over the seam and make 2 single crochet into the next 2 squares around the 2 chain spaces, the 2 corner spaces, 1 and 2. And now you can continue your pattern just like before. Slip stitch the front loop and the back loops of all the doubles together. Now let's take a look. Here's how the wrong side looks. And here's the right side. And we can finish our seam again with 2 single crochet around the last 2 spaces. Our front seam is done. Now we can turn everything over to the back and repeat exactly the same stitches on the seam in the back, bottom to the top. So now that we have our seam in the front and in the back, right here, we have to do the arms. Turn your piece to the side, everything's still wrong side up, and we leave a space for the arms. We start again in the corner and work our way up. And on the second square, I double crochet 10 stitches together on this side, and the same thing on the other side, so 10 doubles. You basically just take a look at your sweater and leave that gap the same width. On one side and on the other side the same thing. I double crochet 10 together on the second square and made the space the same way. Now, after we've done that, we have to do our next space, and again crochet from the corners to the inside, and I left 25 doubles empty here, and then I crocheted from the corner to that side to the inside of the neckline, and also left 25 doubles empty in the front and in the back. And let's measure the next space. My next space is about 11.5 inches. So again, you can leave as many stitches open as you like, but just do it evenly on both sides. Our seams are done, and now we can turn our entire piece right side out again, and we will add a little collar. Everything's right side out. Here's the next space. You can really start anywhere. I'm in the back of my sweater near the chain spaces and make double crochet into all of the previous doubles. This is an easy round. We make double crochet into all of our previous doubles. When you get to the chain space, double crochet 2 into the first space, 1 and 2, and double crochet 2 into the second space, 1 and 2, and then continue make doubles into all of the previous doubles until you get to the seam. I'm crocheting my last few doubles near the seam. Now when you take a look at the previous round, the back loop of that double crochet goes into the seam, and I skipped that to make a little bit of a decrease. So I skip that double and go into the seam under 2 pieces of yarn to have a secure stitch and make a double into the seam. And on the other side as well, skip that double where the back loop goes into that seam, skip that double, go into the next double, and now we can continue and crochet double crochet into all of the previous doubles until you get to the next chain spaces. When we get to our chain spaces, we make 2 doubles into the right and into the left chain space again. And then I repeat the seam again. I skip the double crochet right here where the yarn is going towards the seam. I skip the double and I go into the seam, grab 2 pieces of yarn, make a double, and on the other side the same thing. I skip the double where the yarn's coming from the seam right there, go into the next double. Just make sure again all the way around you have an even number of doubles at the end of the round. I'm making my last double crochet. Now we can finish the round, going between the first and the second double from the back to the front, behind the post, and pull a slip stitch behind that post, and we can start the next round. Chain 2 and then make a front post double below into the double. Go from the front to the back and from the back to the front around the entire post and make a front post double crochet. So we have the chain of 2 behind the front post double. Now we alternate, make a back post double around the next double, from the back to the front and from the front to the back. Go around the entire post and make a back post double. So we are alternating, make a front post double and a back post double. Front post and back posts. And now you can see how we need that even amount of double crochet, alternate between front post and back post doubles. Our last stitch is a back post double crochet. Then we can finish, go in between the chain of 2 and that front post and pull a slip stitch through or behind that post. Now we can start a new round, chain 2, then go in between the chain of 2 again and the front post, right in between those 2, and make a front post double crochet around the previous front post double crochet. Then a back post around the previous back post, it's hiding right there. So back post doubles go around the back post doubles, and front post doubles go around the front post. Here's our front post, make a front post around that, back post around the back post, and front post around the front post, and back post around the back post, and so on. I want to show you how to start a new round one more time. Make the back post double crochet, then go in between the chain of 2 and the front post, slip stitch, chain 2, front post around the previous front post, go in between the chain of 2 and the front post, make the front post double, then alternate again between back post doubles and front post double crochet. I made only 5 rounds, but you can make a turtleneck if you like, so make it as long as you like. Let's finish the last round. Make your last back post double crochet and then a slip stitch into the front post double, and then you can cut your yarn and sew on the loose end. Now our collar is done and you can make a turtleneck if you like. Now let's repeat the same rounds on the bottom of the sweater. Everything's still right side up. And on the bottom of the sweater we do exactly the same pattern that we did on the neckline. except it's easier because we don't have any seams, so double crochet all the way around and make 2 doubles into each of the chain spaces. And we finish our rounds the same way we did on a collar, going between the first and the second post and make a slip stitch. Chain 2, front post double crochet around the double, and then alternate between back post doubles and front post doubles, so exactly the same pattern as before. And we finish again with a slip stitch in between the chain of 2 and the front post and start a new round. Chain 2, front post around the front post, and we are crocheting again back post doubles into back post doubles and front post doubles into front post doubles. I made altogether 12 rounds, but you can make more or less if you like. Now let's do the sleeves, and I also want to show you how to do a decrease just in case you want to make this a long sleeve sweater. Let's start round 1. Grab one of your sleeves, everything is right side out. Here's the shoulder seam. Let's start with the underarm. We're not skipping the double next to the seam. So if you look, here's our seam. Right next to it is the double. The yarn goes into that seam. Let's make our first double crochet into that. So I want a really tight fabric without any holes under the arm. Then go into the seam and make 2 doubles into it. Again, we don't want any holes under the arm. So I make 2 doubles into that seam. 1 and 2. And on the other side the same way. Where the yarn goes into that seam right here, make a double crochet into that previous double. And the most important part again is that you have an even amount of double crochet at the end of the round. I will have 76 and you may have more or less depending on how large your arm is. Now you can make double crochet all the way around. When you get to the shoulder seam, double crochet 2 into the right and 2 into the left space. We have an even number of double crochet all the way around. And now we can finish this round again with a slip stitch into the first double, chain 2 and make the front post double around the double. It's the round we already know. We alternate between back post doubles and front post doubles. You can finish your round again the usual way with a slip stitch and then start a new round with a chain of 2 and a front post double around the previous front post. Now we will make 2 decreases and we always make 2 per round to have the even number of doubles at the end of the round. Yarn over, make a back post slip stitch around the back post. We have 3 loops. Then make a front post slip stitch around the front post. We have 4 loops. Pull through 2 loops and then pull through 3 loops. We have 2 doubles together. The yarn over, let's repeat. Make a back post slip stitch around the back post, front post slip stitch around the front post, pull through 2 loops and pull through 3. So if you make short sleeves, you may not even need the decreases, but I want to show it anyway to people who want to make the longer sleeves. So now that we decreased, we can continue our usual round. Back post doubles around the back post doubles and front post doubles around the front post doubles all the way around. And then also start round 4 and crochet that all the way around, but leave 4 stitches empty at the end of the round. So we are decreasing at the beginning of round 3 and decreasing at the end of round 4. So here's round 4. I crocheted all the way around. I have 4 stitches empty. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will crochet the first 2 together. Make the front post slip stitch around the front post and the back post slip stitch around the back post. We have 4 loops. Pull through 2 loops and pull through 3 loops. And the last 2 stitches, make a front post slip stitch around the front post and a back post slip stitch around the back post. Pull through 2 loops and pull through 3 loops. So now we have a decrease to the right of the seam on the underarm. So the next decrease will be to the left again. Make a slip stitch, chain 2, and a front post around the front post to start a new round. And now you can repeat round 3 and 4 if you want to make more decreases. So we have round 3 where we decrease on the left and round 4 where we decrease on the right. So you want to kind of decrease to the left of the seam and then alternate and decrease to the right of the seam, so our sleeve comes together like that in the middle. and maybe make a few more regular rounds in between the decreases so you don't decrease too fast. Now our sweater vest is done. I hope you like making it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.